So, who's this for? Who's this program for? We see this in its most powerful being for parents of young people, children, babies, all ages, because there is such a wealth of value in that diversity. So, although there might be a sense of safety within, oh, well, if I'm a parent of babies, I'd really like to be with other people who are parents of babies only, because there's a similarity in experience. That is an option and it's totally available. But when we were creating this and really tuning into what felt most impactful, most serving of your exploration, this diverse group with parents of babies, parents of toddlers, parents of primary school kids, parents of teenagers, parents of young adults, that mix of experience is just so potent for challenging our beliefs and our ideas and for holding the mirror up to things that we've forgotten. So if you think about it, if we were to have a parent of a 24, 25-year-old and have a parent of a new baby, and let's say that new parent is 30, that 30-year-old is super close to that young adult's experience. And so there's an amazing cross-fertilization and reflecting back of, oh yeah, well, when I was 24, 25, I was thinking like that too. And equally, for those who are the parents of the older children, to be able to look back on the younger stages and bring that wisdom and that groundedness that says, oh gosh, yeah, I went through that too, and that's okay. So this is where we see the power of the collective within this conscious parenting program, because by bringing that diverse group together with all these different beautiful perspectives, all included, no right and wrong, no good and bad, no challenge too great or too small, no ideas of, oh, mine's not as important as your one, none of that. All the stuff, whatever it is that's coming up in your experience, is all welcome. And then that richness of not only just Pip and I, but the rest of the people you'll be in that community with will be part of that co-creation and that expansion into different possibilities and into that different perspective, which is what creates a different experience for you, a different world for you, and a different family for you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we really it's a really an important part of it, isn't it, Pip, to have that that collective creation and exploration.
Yeah, and as you described that, I just have the word tribal kind of going through my head, because it is that the power that comes from having all of the ages and all of the experiences in one group is, we just know that that's where the wisdom sits. It sits in those people, but more accurately, maybe it sits in the space between them as they interact with each other. So we're really hoping to get a big, great diversity in the group. And also often the people that show up in the group are the mirrors to each other. So again, the different ages and the different circumstances is usually really, really rich.
Yeah, beautiful. So Pip, should we share a bit about who we are then, and our journeys to here?
Yeah, and it follows on from what we were talking about, having a diverse group. So I'm coming to this program as a coach primarily, but I'm a constellator, and we'll do some other videos in the future to really help people understand what constellating is. But it's a technique that essentially allows us to look at the patterns that we hold in our past, and we use each other as representatives to do that. And I also work as a consultant, so in businesses. So it's quite diverse, the work that I do, because sometimes I can be working with individuals who want to understand the blockages that are coming up in their personal lives and their relationships and their families. And then sometimes I'm working with leaders organizations that might have hundreds of people in it, and the leader might want to talk about the blockages to the business's performance. But for me, my first curiosity is always, what did that individual take on from the rules of belonging that were established in their family of origin? And that's really where Constellations has its main focus. So my interest is always in, what have we decided that we must be loyal to, either in our own family of origin, or in our parents or our parents' parents, or even way back. But there was some rules that were established that meant you need to be like this, or do this, or think like this, in order to belong. And we're so dedicated to the need to belong as humans that that becomes our rules of interacting with the world. And sometimes that's hugely liberating, and it means that that's why we are successful, or we are happy, or we're grounded, or we're content. And sometimes it is the opposite. And so I'm just interested in, why are we all, to be honest, we all do it, I think, why are we maintaining our loyalties beyond the time that they are healthy and desirable? Because that's what means we show up in a way that might not feel great with our family. So in a way, it sounds a little bit grandiose, but in a way, I feel like if we attend to our patterns and we are curious about, why do I maybe think like that, or why do I feel like that, or why do I do that? If we can diminish those, or integrate them, or love them, or allow them, we're inevitably creating better futures, because it will impact on our relationships, on our communities, on our organizations, on our businesses, on society. And so it is a kind of way to change the world ultimately, because and it all starts with parents. And yeah, no pressure to the parents out there, but that's where there is a possibility. There's so much possibility in parenting. And so yeah, that's how I'm coming to this program, with that lens, and with that experience, and with that passion, really. So what about you, Helen?
Yeah, I would first of all just really like to acknowledge with you, Pip, that not only you bring in all that amazing expertise as a constellator, and all that passion for us understanding those patterns in ourselves, and like you, I love that phrase, what we're being loyal to, which inevitably is what creates the battles. Because if we're trying to cling to an idea, then something's going to come along to try and wake us up out of that clinging. But I want to also really acknowledge that by joining us in this program as a non-parent, or whatever label we might want to use for that, that again is an incredibly valuable fresh perspective. So like I said before about the reason we're creating this with a mixture of parents and their children's ages, because of that diversity. It's the same with us, that we're bringing that diversity of one of us is a parent and one of us isn't, because again, you bring a whole different perspective to the situation. And as you said before, not with answers, not with, oh well, if I was a parent I'd be doing it like this, nobody wants that. But you bring that curiosity, and that, yeah, just that outside objective viewpoint that challenges us parents in things that we just count as normal, and that we just do because it just seems to be the thing you do as a parent, and that you don't even notice that that's what you're doing, because that's just the world you're in. And so I can't wait to have that perspective from you in the conversation to help see those things.
Yeah, you've just reminded me as well, Helen, that often what happens when I'm running constellation workshops is that the client will be there because of their relationship or their current situation with their own children. And it takes my maybe neutral position on that to be able to look for further back to where this might have started. And I do really feel like that's something I can do maybe more easily, because I don't feel their pain as a parent in that moment, and therefore I can accept that that's what's the current outcome, but I want to go back and look where it came from. So yeah, I think hopefully that will be useful.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, I'll share a little bit about me then as well. So so I'm the parent half of the duo. So I've got currently 16 and 14-year-old, and yeah, it's tough. So in fact, it's tough to the point where when I look back at my career and with parenting alongside that, I loved going to work when they were little. I could not wait for it to be my Tuesday to Wednesday, Tuesday to Thursday, even days at work, to have a break, quite frankly, and to remember who I was outside of being a mum. And yet also, of course, that brought its challenges, because it comes with a whole juggle of a job and kids, and ultimately then self-employment and kids. And so yeah, so I'm delighted to be creating this and bringing it forward, because I think there are so many experiences that I've seen. My kids have been absolutely my best teachers in my journey of exploration. They're just so reliable. Nothing gets past them. They don't put on socially acceptable faces for us. They don't mask, they don't hide. They just mirror back exactly what's happening within us. And so yeah, so they have been a constant challenge, and therefore opportunity for me to grow since whatever 16 years ago was. I should know the year of my son's birth, shouldn't I? Since 2007. From the very first moment he arrived, the lesson around me not being in control, and then it has been an ongoing series of lessons after that, with supporting my increasing dropping of ideas, dropping of loyalties, like Pip talked about, and therefore coming into that greater alignment, greater love, greater acceptance, greater self-love, and therefore greater love and compassion and understanding of them too. So yeah, that's really what I want for everybody who joins us for this journey, for this exploration, in whatever way that shows up. Yeah, they say kids are great teachers, so there's going to be something. They're going to bring something for you to learn about, perfectly timed, so that it's just there for the time we need it for this program. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the respective aspects of the roles Pip and I are both taking in this. But where Pip talked there about constellations, my focus is on the conversation aspect of this exploration. So talking about our experiences, unpacking those, understanding some of the thought stories that we're being loyal to from an intellectual level, but also challenging them and seeing their untruth, in order that what lands in us is the insight that there's no freedom there, that there's no love there, that there is no clarity there, and that the clarity that we're looking for, the groundedness we're looking for, is actually the feeling of ourself. And the more we know that, the less we start trying to find that good feeling in the world, the less we try and make our children behave a certain way in order for us to feel better, the more we know that I am that good feeling already, and now let's see how I want to parent my children, instead of trying to innocently use them as a way to make us feel better. So that's my huge passion with everything I do, is that we're always looking to understand that we are the good feelings we're looking for, and to bring us back home to that remembering. So yeah, so really looking forward to it. Anything you wanted to say to that, Pip, before I?
Only that just listening to you describe that brought back some wonderful memories of when you and I have been on workshops together or on programs together, and it always is lovely that you share about the times when with your children drive you mad, and that elusive sense of knowing that it's all happening as a lesson and that it's actually, you know, inside it's calm is sometimes not there, and being able to be in that, and that's just and I know that this will be part of the program too. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that in there because I certainly don't have answers or judgments, and I know because I've been in workshops and circles with you before that neither do you. So yeah, I was just reminded of some of those conversations we've had in the past at times when it's been a bit manic.
Yeah, it's all always unfolding perfectly. So yeah, beautiful.